Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to simplify and evaluate expressions. All right, remember these are multiple choice questions, and there's always little tricks of the trade that you can do for the multiple choice questions. So for number one here, this is 4 to the 5th over 5 to the 5th. Now, if you want, you can take this out and go, 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 on your calculator, and do the same with the 5s. 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 on the calculator. You're going to get this super big fraction. We don't really want to deal with that. So let's take a look at some of the answers that they give us. Well, what I notice is that 4 to the 5th and 5 to the 5th, I'm actually dividing. That's a fraction. A and D are not dividing. A is 4 to the 5th minus 5 to the negative 5th. We're doing a subtraction problem. D, we're going to do a subtraction problem first, which is not even remotely near what we're doing over here for our original problem. So I know A and D are not the answer. So it's got to be either B or C. Well, which of those kind of looks like that? That's really where you're at. Okay, what I can do is, for this problem here, I can take the 4 and the 5 out, or just write it as a fraction, 4 over 5, and put that to the 5th power. Because remember, we have 4 to the 1st and 5 to the 1st. Power to a power, we multiply, and look at what our answer becomes. 4 to the 5th over 5 to the 5th. So our answer here is B. Number 2, this is what we were doing the other day with simplifying square roots. So what I want to do is I want to take 63, 1 times 63, 3 times 21. Next thing we can do is 7 times 9, and that's where I'm going to get my perfect square. So the square root of 63 is actually the square root of 9 times the square root of 7. Now remember though, there's a 6 out front. So this is actually saying take 6 times the square root of 9 is 3 times the square root of 7. And then 6 times 3 is 18 square roots of 7. So now we can change 28. 28 is 1 times 28, 2 times 14, I still don't have a perfect square. 3 doesn't work. 4 times 7, 4 is perfect, but let's see if there might be something bigger. 5 doesn't work, 6 doesn't work. 7 times 4, so 4 is the one that we were going to do. Okay, so that means we're going to subtract the square root of 4 times the square root of 7. So this is minus 2 square roots of 7 minus 2 square roots of 7. Now, whenever you do these with square roots, you would treat this like you were treating 18x minus 2x, because they're exactly the same under the square root sign. If they weren't the same, we wouldn't be able to combine them. But since what's underneath the square root sign is exactly the same, we can combine them. We could treat this like it was 18x minus 2x, which would just be 16x. So here we would go 18 minus 2 is 16, and then the square root of 7 doesn't change. And if we come over to our answers, that answer is D. And for the last one, evaluate for when m equals 25. So all we're doing is we're putting 25 in here. So if I rewrite this as 4, but instead of m, that's 4 times 25 plus 2. Well, 4 times 25 is 100. And what's the square root of 100? The square root of 100 is 10. 10 plus 2 is 12. And if we go to our answers, that answer is B. So what you have, so then for your assignment in the simplify and evaluate expressions part of the packet, it's just the next one that we're doing after GCF and LCM. You need to do 4 through 10.